You are welcome once again to Crown System presentation. I still remain Vincent. Today we'll be looking at the administration module. Well, my focus is going to be on how to create users for the system and both internal and external users. So like we know that Crown System is cloud-based system. So we open our browser as always, and we put in our URL address. In this case, I'm going to be used the demo environment. I've already saved the URL in my system. I click on it. Takes me to the login page of Crown System where I put my username. My password. I log in. This is the home page of Crown System. So I'll go straight to the administration module. In our previous presentation on the administration module, we made it to understand that this is the control panel of Crown System. Here you set up all the parameters which you can use to function in Crown System. And also this is where you can create users for the system, both internal and external. What I mean by internal is people that will be handling the Crown System that you will assign roles to. And external users, I mean parents or whoever that you want to have access to the e-portal. You create all those things here in the administration module. And here you manage the users which you created and you assign roles to them, as you'll be seeing as we are moving forward. So I want to create a role. You can do that. I want to create a user rather. You can do that in the Crown State Administration static data, which I've clicked. You go to this user maintenance. If you click on all this update, these are the users that have already been created in the system up to the 4th page, because this is a demo environment. All right, so this is all the users which are in the system. So I want to create a new one. Either I use this new record or I come here and I click on create. So this is where the environment where you create all the users, both internal and external. So in this place, you fill in the sign-on name, which is very compulsory. Sign-on name of a user which you want to create. So here I'm going to be, let me use this sign-on name. The title of the person, Mr., Mrs., Doctor, or whoever you want to create as a user in the system. Here you put in the first name of the person. And here you put in the surname. Now the person has other name, you can do that. You can fill in that, but as you can see, this one is not a compulsory field. So I'm going to leave that for now. So you have start date profile. This is the date, like I said, you manage your users here in the administration module. This is the date you want the person to start using the system. So like today, I'll use today's dates. Or if you are creating a user, you can fill in the dates to be futuristic, that okay, from so and so day, this person can start using this system. So the date you fill in here is the date the person will start using the system. Then here, you have the end date profile. That is the date beyond which the person cannot have access to Crown System. Now I'll leave it as it is. I only change the year. So beyond these dates, even if the person has been having access to Crown System and doing whatever the person is doing, so beyond these dates, the person will not be able to log into Crown System unless someone that has this rule, this administrative rule, will come to this environment and edit this particular user. Maybe shift the date to another date so the person can now have access to Crown System. Now you have your user type. This is where you specify the type of user. Now this user type is what controls the connection ID. Like here, if the person is going to be an administrator, a student, or a teacher, what it means that the person, you've already captured the person's details in the system. So like this administrator, assuming this particular user is going to be administrator, you are going to assign administrative role to this particular user. It means that before now, you must have captured the person details in the system. We do that in the enrollment module where you enroll the users, that when you enroll your employees or whoever you want to enroll in the system. So once the person is an administrator, it means that you are going to connect the user with a connection ID. You come here and click, you can connect the user to, if the person's name is, for example, is Joseph Stephen, you can say Joseph Stephen, this is Joseph Stephen. You connect this particular user to Joseph Stephen. Then you come here, the same thing goes to student. If it's a student, if you are choosing student, then if you click on this connection ID, this binocular that is here, it will go to where the students, where you enroll your student, that's the student enrollment biodata option of the system. So we bring all the whole students there, then you can choose which of the students are you connecting this particular user to. Then you choose. Then the same thing goes for teacher. If it's a teacher, it goes to the teacher's table. If you click on this binocular, it goes to the teacher's table. You can choose whoever you want to choose. So let's assume this person is a teacher in the school. Then I'll leave it as teacher. I say, okay, it's Joseph Stephen. So I've connected this particular user who is a teacher to Joseph Stephen. But if the user is going to be a parent, you are not going to connect any ID to the person. If you click on this place, it's not going to take you to any environment where you can choose who to link that person to because he's a parent. So I'm going to leave it as teacher, but when I come back to how to create parent user, I will teach you what this map children here is all about. So I say this person is a teacher. I come here, I say Stephen, Joseph Stephen. All right, I select it. Now, if you have the picture of the person captured in the system, you choose that information here, that file, that particular file, you upload it to the system using this option. Now, here you can see start time profile. Now, if you leave this at 8 a.m. in the morning, which is defaulted in the system, what this means is that before 8 a.m. in the morning, this particular user cannot have access to this environment, which you are creating him to be a user of. You cannot have access. If the person wants to have access to this environment by 7:59, he cannot have access. So he must start having access in the system from 8:00 a.m. That's in the morning. So that is what this start time profile. So everything here is parameterized. So this user, I want him to be having access from as early as 6 a.m. in the morning. So I put that there as early as 6 a.m. in the morning, 00, done. All right. Now I want him to be from 6 a.m. in the morning to 11:59 in the midnight. He will have access. That's why I have this 23:59 here. But if I want him to just have access from 6 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, so I will need to just change this. I want him to have it to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, 00. So now you can see after 1 p.m. in the morning, anything after 1 p.m., if the person is not logged into the system and he wants to log into the system, he cannot have access to the system. So having done that, I've created this user. I've finished the information I need to create this particular user. I click on create to create this user and return and create another user, or I use the create and finish, showing that I'm through with the users I want to create for you. And of course, if you have many users to create, you can do that in the upload module. And we treat that when I'm treating the upload mode. I'll show you how to do that. So for now, I've created this user. So I'll click on create and finish because this is the only user I want to create for today. So if I click on create and finish, you can see new user created with ID, Joe. So this person now can have access to the system. And for him to have access to the system, he needs his username, Joe. Let's search for him here. This is him. He needs his username and he needs his password to have access to Crown system. So having created him as a user in the system, the next thing I will do is to create a password for this particular user. Then I will do that in the administration transaction. I go to user maintenance, I click on it. I come here. If I know the username, I type it straight away. Or if I don't know the username, I can come here. Let me go to back. I can search it from this place. Okay, it's not in this first page. I can either use next, or I don't want to waste my time. I come to search. I click on Joe. The same thing happens. Click on it. Sorry about that. Joe. Click on Joe. Click on select. Yes. You see the details appears here. Now from here, you can assign a password to this user. So for you to assign a password to a user, the password must be a minimum of 6 characters. That's the password policy set in the system. And the password must have 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 digit, and 1 special character, which are some of these ones that are here. You have the @ symbol here, you have the hash, the $sign, the percentage sign here. So it must have all this for it to be a valid password in the system. So I'm going to give this person the password. So this my password that I just inputted here. It has all these things in them. 1 uppercase, then the rest are lowercase. Then I have 1 special character. I have 1 digit in them. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it must be minimum of 6 characters. So I confirm the password here. I confirm the password. Now I can create this. I can assign this password to this particular user, which I'm going to do unlock and reset password. As I click on this place, you see the message account unlocked successfully and password change. Password is sent to user's registered email address. Like the user type here is teacher. So the person's details have already been captured in the system, and the person's email address is in the system. If the person has a correct email address, the username and the password will be sent immediately to the person's email address. So the person can go there and view that information that he or she will use to log into the system. So I've created the user. I'm going to log out. So that let me log in with this user and see if what we did is correct. Now I put in this user. Remember, the username is Joe, and the password I assigned for him. I click on login. User not permitted to go and access into the system at this time. Remember, when we are creating this user, we said that this user will have access to the system from 6 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So this is a typical example of what I'm talking about. If you look at the time, you see that now is around 8, after 8 p.m. in the night. So this user cannot have access to the system. So if I want him to have access, I'll go and edit the time that he will have access to the system, which I'm going to do. So I log in. I log into the system. Now, if I want to do that, I'll still go to administration. This is my own username and password now. Go to administration, static data, user maintenance. Then I click on update. Now I want to edit the users, one of the users that have already been created in the system. So I search this user with the username. It appears. Now from here, you can see edit. Now I click on the edit. I go to end time profile. Now I want him to have access to this system up to 10 p.m. in the night. So I say 22:00. Click on done. All right, now I click on updates. If I click on updates, the system updates this entry. Now I'm going to log in again to see if he can now have access to the system. Now I put in his username, put in his password. Log in. All right, I've logged into the system. Now you will discover one thing, which I did not say when I was creating the user. We said our current system is user-based, it's role-based. Now, any user you create in Crown system, you can assign whatever you want the person to have access to in the system. Now you can see all these icons here and all the modules boldly spelled out here. But this user, because I did not assign him to have access to any of these roles, he cannot do anything in Crown system. If I click on this place, look at what it's just showing me. If I click on this place, nothing good, nothing is happening, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. I go home, I go to assessments, click on it. You can see there's nothing here. I click on this place because it does not have role to this place. It does not have role for all these things. So he cannot do anything in Crown system because I've not assigned roles for him. I go to administration too. I want to create a user with him. I go to administration, static data, nothing is happening. So I will need to go back. Now, you do this when you are creating the user. After creating the user, assigning password, the next thing you are supposed to do is to assign roles for him. But I chose to do it this way so that you understand what we are talking about by Crown system is role-based. Now I'm going to log out. I will log him out. Then I'll go back to assign roles for him. Say log out. Put in my own username because I'm an administrator. I have the role to create user and also assign roles and manage whoever in the system. So now I'll go back to Crown administration, static data, go to user maintenance updates, search out this particular user. Now here you can see user role. I edited his end time profile here. I can delete him from this place. I can view his details from this place. I can assign roles from him for this in this place. So I click on user role. Now you see these are roles available in Crown system. You see here you can see create, delete, update, view. Any of them I click here, we go to this place and that role will be assigned to this user. So I will go, I want to assign enrollment rules for him. So all I need to do is just go down until I get to enrollment. You can see these are all the roles in Crown system that are available here. So any of them that you assign to him, he will have that role, can be able to access that environment in Crown system. These are assessment rules. You can give him assessment static data integrity check run create. If I give him create alone, this person cannot have edit unless I give him edit rule. Cannot update unless I give him update rule. So I go down. I want to assign only enrollment rule for him. The only thing if this person, the only business he has in the system is just enrollment. Billing, he will not have access to billing. So he will not even see whatever is happening in billing unless I give him viewing rule in billing. So I just go down to enrollment. Now, these are enrollment rule. So any of the role I want to assign to him, all I need to do is to click on that role. Then you will see the role will appear in this place. If I save it, then he will have that role. Now I want to assign to him all the roles in the enrollment. So I'll keep on clicking. They keep appearing there until I'm done with enrollment. I'm giving him both delete, update, view, and all the rows in the enrollment. That's what we call the user management. So here you can see that all the rows in the enrollment, they are assigned here. And any of them that I don't want him to have, all I need to do is to click on it on this place and it will be removed from this place. So I will save this user, save him. Selected rows has been successfully applied to the user. Changes will take effect from next login. Okay. Now I want to see if he has those rows. I log out, I log him in again. All right, let's see if he has enrollment rule. Let's go from here, crown enrollment. Now you can see he has all these rules now are now applicable to him. You can access anything in crown enrollment. Can access anything here. Remember when we clicked here before, when we've not assigned role to him, this place, they are not showing us anything. Enrollment updates, enrollment report, all the roles in enrollment are assigned to him. Now let's see if he has the other rules in the crown system. Let's to billing, click on billing. You can see he cannot do anything in billing. Cannot do anything in billing. Even if he clicks on this place, he can't do anything in billing. All right. Go to assessments. Assessment starting data, nothing happened. Assessment transaction, nothing happened. So the only business he has is enrollment. So for the boss of the school or the accountant, I can give that person only the billing role, and I can as well give the person accounting role. So it has no business in movement tracking, which handles the attendance of the students. So I create teacher users in the system. I give them movement tracking rules, and I give them assessment rules depending on the school agreements. So the school will agree on the role to assign to any person, that any user of the system. So that is user management. Now, let me log out and log in because this person does not have administration rules. It doesn't have it. Now, peradventure, because the system is parameterized in such a way that, let me go there. If you go here, you go to administration param. You will see here password attempt, maximum number of times the person. So this is the maximum number of unsuccessful attempts a user is allowed before his password will be locked. So peradventure, the person forgets his or her password in the system and is trying to log in, and the system blocks the person off, or whatever the reason may be, the system locks the person out of the system, that the person cannot have access in the system. In this case, this environment is parameterized to have only 3 maximum attempts to log in. You can say 4, you can say once, you can say 2, whichever way you want to choose. So peradventure, the person is logged out in the system, and it calls the administrator that, look, I've been logged out of the system. I forgot my password. So the administrator can come to this place, administration transaction, go to user access maintenance, choose the particular user that made that, let me use this one, that made that request or complaint. Then the person can come here. If the person still knows his or her password, you can come here and just click on unlock user accounts. Once the administrator clicks on this, the person now will regain access to the system. Or maybe the person forgets his password. You just need to just type in new password for that particular user. Confirm the password here and click on unlock and reset password. Now the person now will now regain access to the system. That's part of the user maintenance. Yes, user maintenance and user management in the administration module. Now, before I go to how to create user for the e-portal, let me show you what holiday capture means. You know, in the movement tracking module, which handles attendance, every day in the system, you need to run close of business run in the system so that the system can be able to close whatever chapter you've done for that day and move the system forward to the next day. So peradventure, you have a midterm break you want to capture in the school, or there's a public holiday in the school, so that when it gets to the day before the public holiday or that midterm break, so if you run close of business run, the system will close for that day and open for the next day that school will reopen. Let me just go there and explain what I mean. Holiday dates capture, you click on create. Now, if the holiday is a single day, you leave it at single day. Single day. Now, if you come to holiday start dates, this place, they are not active. You cannot use this holiday start date and holiday end date. Now, let's say it's a single day. Now the holiday dates, the holiday description maybe is a, here in Nigeria, we observe Ramadan, Karim, Independence Day, and whatever holiday that we have. If it is one day, you put it here. All right. If it's one day, maybe Ramadan, Karim, you put it here. When is the holiday date? You put the date there. Then you create that entry. So the day before the day of this particular date now, what the system will do is that when you are running close of business run, it will close for that particular day, which is supposed to be on the 10th. Now, it will open for the next day the school will reopen, which is supposed to be on the 13th. So that is why this place is very important. Let's assume it's a range of day range, that's range of holiday. Now, the start date of the holiday, let's assume is 1 week holiday. Now you say maybe the holiday is going to start this day, Monday, and it's going to end on Friday. I say yes, it's going to end on Friday. Now, the Friday before this week, if you run the close of business run, maybe let's the description we say is midterm break. Midterm break, yes. You can see because it's day range, this one now is not active. So if you run close of business run, what the system does is we do is that it will close for that Friday, and the whole of this week, which is a holiday, it will close for all this week and open the next Monday, which is going to be 11th. It will open on 11th. That's what this holiday date capture does. So after you must have done whatever, you create. If you have other ones to create, you still put in those details and create. If it's only this one, you use the create and finish. Now, you have events and news. You have lead board here. This is where you capture maybe the best teacher, the best student. This is where you capture that information. The award name here, you use the employee code, which is talking about the employee itself. Employee code, maybe it's this code you are using. You can say this code, you select it for the month of September or whatever month, you select the month here. They say the award name, maybe the most punctual teacher or the best teacher of the month of July, the year. You create that entry. Now, this information, people using the e-portal will have access to this particular information. Okay, say this month, this particular teacher, he is or she is the best teacher or the most punctual teacher or the most disciplined teacher of the month. So that's lead board. Now you have your event and news. You create this information are available in the e-portal. So for the event and news, you want to create, you come here. If it's an event, you leave it at event. If it's a news, put it at news. So any information you want to pass out to the public, you can capture that here. You can, if you say it's an event, you say quiz competition. The dates, that information will appear. That's the first day to appear on the e-portal. You put that information here, and the date it will disappear. You put it here. The date it will disappear from the e-portal, and you have description of maybe it's quiz competition. Now description, maybe whatever description you give to it. If it's a news, you can say this is an event coming up. Okay, the school will be participating in the federal government organized piece, maybe dates. You put the dates, the school will be participating in the particular quiz. Then you do whatever with that information as you've captured it here. Once you click on create or create and finish, it goes straight to the e-portal. And whoever that is an administrator can always come here to view that information if he or she wants. So these are the ones that are in the system, created in the system already. Like here, you can see it here. The school quiz group are the winners of the 2019 science quiz competition held in Lagos State Government. Whatever information you need to put here, you can pass that information through this place and it will appear on the e-portal. All right, having done that, these are various reports across the administration module. So I'm going to move over to how to create a user for the e-portal. Now go to user maintenance. That particular user I created, I want to delete that particular user. So first of all, I delete him because I'm still going to use that information for the e-portal. Successfully deleted user with ID is Joe. All right. Now for the e-portal, I said the same environment. You create the users, the administrators, the students, the teachers, users is the same place you create users, parents user for the e-portal. Now I said, let me still use that username, Joe, Mr. Who, Joseph, other name, doesn't have other name. Now this person is going to be an external user who is a parent or a guardian or whoever. So you choose the user type for that particular person for that e-portal will be parent for he or she to have access to the e-portal. Now, if you click on these parents, you see that there's something that appears here, an option here, map children. I will come to that. Now, when do you want the parent to have access to the e-portal? The same thing goes here. Now, I said when you are using the parents, because the parent information is not captured, it is already captured when you are using biodata, but it was not captured as a separate entry in the system. So it doesn't have a connection ID. If you click on this place, nothing happens. Now I want this person to have access to the e-portal from these dates. On these dates, I want him to stop having access on these dates. I want him to have access from this time to this time. If the person has a picture, of course, you did not capture that information in the system, so it will not have. So this plan now is not necessary. So because the user type is parent, you see map children. Now this map children is where you are going to associate the children of this particular parents or guardian to him or her. So once you click on map children, it opens up another field where you can choose a child. If it's only one child, you just click on this place. Now let's use this child for him. All right. Maybe he has another child, up to 3 of them or 2 of them. Let's say 2 of them. New child added. Right? You click on map children, you choose the child. Let me go to next. Choose this particular child. Right? Select. If I still want to map another child, I'll click on map children. I'll keep on adding. Now, for a parent to have access to the e-portal, the parent needs a username. Note that information. The parent needs a username. The parent needs the admission number of one of the children, one of them. If you are going to use this particular admission number, it means that you also needs the class and the date of birth of that particular child having that admission number you want to use to gain access to the e-portal. So if you are going to use this particular child, so you are going to know the current class of this particular child, and you're also going to know the date of birth of this particular child. So if you are going to be using like sign-on name, you use this Joe, you use this admission number and come down here and use the current class of this other child, you cannot have access to Crown system. If you are using this this particular admission number. Now the information you are going to fill there will be the information that pertains to this particular admission number. So any of the admission number can go, but what happens is that if you are using this one, you are going to use this admission number, the current class of this particular student that has this admission number, and the date of birth of this particular student that has this admission number. The same goes to this one. If you have 20 children and you map all of them, any of the admission number you choose, that's the one you're going to use to have access to grant system. And once you have access, you can now have access to all the information concerning all the 20 of them in the e-portal. So now, I'll write out this admission number. That is 151401005. Now, this is the only one I want to create. I click on create and finish. Now, I've created that user. If I search him, see that sign-on name is this, user type is this. I'm not assigning any roles for him because he's not going to have access to the main homepage of Crown System. You only have business with the e-portal. So what do I do in case I don't know that information for that admission number I want to use? I go to home, go to enrollment module, go to enrollment static data, go to student biodata registration, update. Now, using the admission number of this particular student, 151401005. All right, that's that particular student. I can view his details. Now, what do I need? I need his date of birth, which is 12th of November 1980. I need his current class. Now, this is his current class, JSS3, SS3D. That is his current class. All right, now let's log into the e-portal with that particular user we just created using those information. Log out. Now I want to log into the e-portal. If you must give a parent your URL address, or this e-portal can be removed and we place it on your school website. So parents can just go to your school website and click on the functionality of the e-portal there. Then they can have access to the e-portal. Now, if they are coming, if you don't have a website, I want it to be here, then we can equally leave it here. So once they type the URL address and come to this home page, this login page, they go straight to the e-portal, click on the e-portal. Now, login ID, you have it as Joe. Student admission number, you have 151, you have 40, you have 1005. Now, the date of birth of that student, you have it as 12th of November, we have it 1980. Now, for the current class of that particular student, we have it as JSS3D. JSS3D. Now we can sign into the portal. You need to buy credit access before the e-portal. Now, this e-portal is parameterized and customized according to customers' needs. Now, let's go back there. Now, back to login page, you can see even as this particular person has this information, he or she cannot log into the e-portal. He cannot log into the e-portal. So once you are creating for the e-portal, you need to, there are some parameters you need to set in place for that person to have access to the e-portal. Now I log in, let me show you some of those parameters. Now, if you don't want debtors, even as they have this information, and the person is still owing the school, to have access to the e-portal, you can set that here. You come here, you can see e-portal param. That's e-portal parameter. You click on it. Now, e-portal access payment check. If that particular student is owing the school, if you leave this place as yes, what it means is that that particular person will not have access to e-portal. But if you click it, if you set it as no, the person will have access to the e-portal. The same thing goes to enforce debtor check. Sorry. Yes, that's enforced debtor check is if the person is owing the school, you will not have access to the e-portal if you set this place as yes. But if you leave it at no, it means that even if the person has not paid the school. Paying the school, I mean that the person has paid the school, but that information, we capture it in the billing module, in the billing data capture, payment capture. If the system does not have that information, and this place is yes, the person cannot have access to the e-portal. So I set it as no. Now, if you want, even if the person has paid or he has not paid, you are charging a different fee for e-portal access. That is where this one comes in, e-portal access payment check. Now, if you set it as yes, it means that you have a particular amount the people will pay in form of scratch card, or they come and pay the school, then they will now have access to the e-portal. If you set it at no, it means that all these things will not be functional. If this one is no, both of them are no, and I go to log in the e-portal, I'll just log in straight. But because this place is set as yes, that was the reason why we cannot log into the e-portal, because e-portal access payment check is set at yes. Now, if it is set at yes, this is where it says the amount e-portal unit access. If you want the person to be having, if you want the person to be paying, maybe let's say the unit 50 naira for the to have access per access of the e-portal. That's you can pay 50 naira anytime the person wants to have access to the e-portal. 50 naira will be deducted from that person. You set it here as 50, then you come here and click on save. It means that if the person is paying 200 naira, let me use naira as the payment currency. If the person is paying 200 naira, because the e-portal unit access is 50, the person can have only access to the e-portal 4 times. So having said that, you go up from this administration module. Now you go to crown billing. You go to crown billing. You go to billing transaction, because it has to do with bills. You come to e-portal access, you click on create. Click on create. Now, this parent, let's assume he has paid for the access of e-portal in this school. Now, you choose his admission number. You type it here if you know, or if you don't know his admission number, you come here and click and search for it. We know that it's this particular student. You select him, click on search. Now, before I do this, let me go back. These are the list of the people that are having access to the e-portal. Let me go back before I do that. Now, e-portal access, great. Now, if I select a student that have not been mapped to any parent, like let me say this James Data, you've not mapped him or her to any parent, and you click on search, you can see this student is not mapped to any parent account. Please create a parent account and map it with a student to enable e-portal access. So for me to set up this place, I need the student to already be mapped, to have already been mapped to a parent. So I click on here. Let's go back to who I want to set up for. I've mapped this one to a parent. Click on search. It opens an environment where I can do that. Now, because access option, unit payment access is set as yes, that is why it is here. But if you want the person to have unlimited access, you set it here. Unlimited access, meaning that the person will just have access, and be going. Now, if you want the person, you say from this date to this date, the person will not have access to the e-portal. Now you say limited by date. Now you can now set access end date. Now you discover that once we choose this admission number and we are brought to this particular environment, you see the parent sign-on name appear automatically here. So as I was saying, by limited access by date, if you are using this option, limit access by date, you send the dates beyond which the person cannot have access to the e-portal again. here in the access end date. Even as when you are creating the parents to have access to the e-portal, you created the end date profile in that place that you created that user, the parent user. So you can limit that person from this place by using this limit by date access. Now I will leave it as units payment access. Now you know that the person is unit access is 50 naira. Now let's say I'll put, if I put 100 here, you can see number of access the person is going to have for the e-portal is only 2. If I put 200 here, it means that the person paid 200. Now you can only have access to the e-portal only 4 times, because I've already set this 50 when I was setting it in the administration mode. So I'm going to give this person, maybe the person paid 500. So we now have access to this e-portal 10 times. Now, after this 10 times, if he logs into the e-portal 10 times and the 500 is exhausted, you cannot have access again unless he pays another money. And you come here and still capture that information. Which day did he make the payment? And which date was the payment captured? So I say he made the payment on at the date he made the payment. And which date was it captured? It was captured on this day. Captured on this day. So if I click on create and finish, just I've done, I've set everything I need to set for that parent to have access to the e-portal. Now these are the people that already have access to the e-portal. You can see our user here. He paid 500. This one paid 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. This one paid 100. All right. Now, all these people, they are limited by dates. This person is limited by date. This person is unlimited. This person has unit payment access, just like this particular person here. So I'm going to log out and try to log in the e-portal. Now we go to e-portal login. We type in 15140, the admission number, 15140 1005. Now the student admission, all right. That's the admission number of the students. That's the option for the login, ID. The date of birth, have it as 12th of November 1980. Now the current class is JSS 3D. You can now click on login. That information is correct. The person will have access to the e-portal. Now you can see now the person has we only mapped 2 students to this particular parents. If he has 50 of them, you map all of them to him, you have access. So this is the information that pertains to this Buffett Warner and this Boro David. So that is how to create user for the e-portal. Now you can see the information the person can have here. This is the basic information of the students. You can see this is the attendance of the students. If you are capturing his attendance, that information will be displayed here. The number of days he was in the school, and the number of days he was absent from the school, and the number of days he was authorized to be absent from school. The bills of that particular student, that information is here. You can see the net bills. If you want to go for details of the bills, you click on that place, you see it. This is the payment, how the person was making payment, but because this person was is owing the school, he has not made any payment. That's the reason why you are not seeing anything here. So you can see that information here. If a timetable was created in the system, you can see that information in this student's timetable. Academic performance of the students, you can see it here represented in bar charts. if that information is already captured for this particular student in the system. So the information here determines what the administrator has already captured in the main environment of the ground system. You can see the student details here. Student details. If there are some corrections to make, the parents can see class details, contact details, and other. If the people that captured that information in class system made mistake, you can identify it from here and bring it to their attention. So you can see the notice board where we created our event and news. Those things will appear here. You can see the teacher's lead board. You can see it here. It appears here. And the class tutor, the person handling that student, the information, you can see it here. And the details of the academic performance of that particular student. And from here also, you can download the academic reports of that particular student if that information is available for that particular student. So that is that for how to create for the e-portal. So I'm going to log out this particular user and log in a user that all those information for the e-portal have already been captured in the system. So I'll use this user 14130 1001. Admission number, the date of birth is 08 of 11 also of 1982. Right? The current class is SS2A. Right? Click on sign in. You can see now this particular user, all this information are here. You can see the academic performance here represented in bar charts. The student's timetable, because the timetable have already been created in the system for the particular students. You can see student basic details, notice board, the school contact details is here. School authority, you can see it here, the register address, school dates. They are here. That is the important date in the school, the current session start date, current session end date, current term start date, and current term end date. You can view all those information here. And the news, all the information the school wants to pass out to the general public, you can see them here. The notice board and the lead board too, you can see them here. And here you can see this is the continuous assessment of this particular student. You can download the academic report here. You can see for current performance review, you can see it here. Current performance review for this particular subject. That information is here already. 2 subjects or 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 5 of them that are here already. You can see it. That's current course review. You can see them here. Who is the teacher handling that particular course? For basic tech 1 is this person. This is the teacher. That's putting any comment, action, and the attendance. You view those information here. And as well download that particular information from this place. For the report card or the report sheet of the particular student from this portal, parents can always download it anytime. You choose the current term, the entry term, choose the current year, then you download that information. All right. So that is for the e-portal. Now you can see this particular user of the e-portal has 3 students. That is how he can have access to the 3 students. This particular e-portal. So that is how to create user for the e-portal. And that is how to create users for CRAN system and to assign roles and to manage their roles and manage the users of CRAN system. So on this note, I'll say thank you very much for bringing out your time to look at this presentation. Until I come your way next time, I say remain blessed. And thank you once again.